And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. My name is Daniel Wahome. Well, from a conversation about golf, we now move on to a conversation about a sport that is in every way American. We're talking about baseball, and it's been 55 plus years of the sport being right here in the country. And last year, there was representation in Mexico, and that was at the Baseball 5 World Championships. And to speak about that and work being done to ensure that the sport continues growing, we've got the President of Baseball Kenya, Dr. Titus Mutweri. Daktari.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Bwana Wahome.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I think September last year was quite a moment for Kenya's young players, and this has helped raise, has helped Kenya move up places to, would be saying now 63rd in the world. 26 places up is quite a thing. But baseball 5 worlds in Mexico. What was the biggest takeout for the youngsters who are there?
First, probably to correct you, Wahome, is that in the convention of baseball, yes, we are position 63 in the world, yeah. But in baseball 5, we are position 9.
And this is what you've got?
In the world, yes. This is baseball 5 ball. We are position 9 in the world. And September, as you've put it, was a defining moment for the Kenyan players, baseball 5 players, because when we started this journey in 2023, qualified at the East Africa regional level, we went to South Africa a year ago, and we qualified for the World Cup. And we lost to Ghana in that qualification. And when we went to Mexico in September last year, no one had prepared for Kenya because all the teams that were there, 16 in number, from Europe and Asia and the Americas, they didn't think that there is any strong contender from Africa who is going to, show them dust. But as things happened, we left that tournament as position 5 in the world. And we lost only 2 matches, one to the reigning champions, world champions, that's Cuba. And we had an issue with the pitch, which we complained about to the management, to the LOC. The next game that we lost was against the hosts, Mexico. But all the other teams that were there, we had a beautiful game, and we emerged position 5 in the world.
And one of the things about baseball 5, the nature of, we know conventional baseball is an outdoor event.
Yes.
This is now indoor. Every time I have a conversation with basketball, handball, netball, volleyball, they always come and say, look, we play outdoors, but it's not the case. What's been your story of trying to make sure that you get venues where you can have baseball 5, which is ideally a very good developmental form of the sports?
The beauty about baseball 5, actually the concept came from the IF, the International Federation, because we realized the challenge that the world has in acquiring equipment and tools for playing the conventional baseball. Because for you to put a kid into the field for conventional baseball, the kid requires a bat, a glove, a helmet, balls and all that, and there is the catcher's gear. So the whole thing is an expensive endeavor. And now minds came together, and the baseball 5 was invented, and it was launched in 2019. For Kenya to be where we are is because baseball 5 is an urban kind of sport that can be played in many surfaces. It can be played in a cabro paved environment. It can be played in an indoor stadium, and that creates more opportunities because not many institutions, schools can afford the massive field of conventional baseball. and that has helped us a lot. We can play it even actually outside. It's not even necessarily an indoor, a covered space. You can play in the street, and provided you have the dimensions of the field that you require. And now Kenya starting to play this sport together with the other countries at the same time.
All right.
Has given us our upper hand.
So, Doctor, we will be coming back to that.
Okay.
The story of Baseball 5. And remember, this is a conversation that, we are having here because, number one, the sport, just like any other, it needs a lot of infrastructure. It's not an easy sport to, I would say, have. Looking at what people talk about baseball bats, you could have one made of aluminium, or you could have another one that is made of wood. Then when it comes to the gear, the helmets that are safe, I find it interesting that border riders ideally would be using baseball helmets for safety. That is not supposed to be the case. Getting a proper diamond and one that can be there, because we know we may not have a stadium like what the Red Sox would have, but at the end of it all, it is getting that. Number two is coaching and having consistent competition. That is another factor that we would like to have, and also making sure that it continues growing. The other thing is getting the right surfaces and having the sport understood. I have come across people who say, remember, it is this sport that helped change fortunes for them. They've become coaches, they're working with children, they go back to their communities and do a lot of outreach, doing other things, what falls within the wider concept of what is known as sport for development. So that is something that, we would all like to have a conversation with Dr. Titus Muturi, who is the president of Baseball Kenya, an American sport. 56 years on, what can we be talking about the sister sports and what everyone has got to do? And also, he's got a yellow ball here that he's got a yellow ball here that, he could tell us about how it works. So, Dr. Muturi, you could just, and this
to feel it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because it feels more like a tennis ball, only without a little bit of fur that is there. So that is what is not there, because we know about the leather baseball. Yeah. So that is ideally what it should be. So, yes, this is for Baseball 5, and he is also going to help us, understand how this is played. So, right. Dr. So that people understand, and we do it. So, first of all, Baseball 5, you've got 5 players and
5 players assigned. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the whole team is comprised of 8 players. So we have 3 on the reserve, but we have 5 players on the pitch. The beauty about Baseball 5 is also a dual gender sport. Mm-hmm. And that is a big thing because across the world, because not many sports are played by both gender, same pitch, same time. So every time that the players are in the field, we have either 3 boys, 2 girls, or 3 girls and 2 boys. So that sense of equity also comes in, and also supporting the girl child to know that what a man can do, the girl child can also do. And the other thing about Baseball 5 is there is also the aspect of safety, because the conventional baseball, is a hard ball played using, either metallic bat or wooden bat. So the kids need to be introduced to it in a very careful process for their own safety, for the security of other children. And we don't have, in the country, we don't have everything put together for that kind of widespread widespread growth and development. As you've said, well put it, we need a stadium, the Diamonds. We also need bats that are not manufactured in the continent. We need balls for baseball that are not manufactured in the continent, and gloves and helmets. So the coming of Baseball 5 was a breath of fresh air to the space of the African continent because it only requires one ball, nothing else. You don't need bats, you don't need gloves, you don't need helmets, and also the kids are even more secure. So you can introduce a child to this sport and they'll pick it up without going through a lot of security measures. And even the schools, we have now worked to introduce this to the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. And Baseball 5 is going to be a sport now taught and examined in the CBET curricula. And it will be taught actually in grade 11. And kids in senior school are going to pick it up as one of the elective sports that will be taught in class. That also means that the spread of the sport will be very rapid in the coming years because schools are going to pick it up and it will be something important for each school. And it's urban. We don't need too much space. Schools in the urban centers can pick it up. They don't need a large diamond field, size of a soccer field or more, to play baseball. Now they have options.
I'll be coming back to that aspect of curriculum because it has triggered something. And since you're also from academia, at least you would help us, people understand how this now comes in. But I want to come to equipment.
Yeah.
Because you say, let's start with the bat.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. What is it about this wooden bat? I know in cricket they say the willow, but when it comes to baseball, what is it about the bat? Do we have enough lathe machines here? Do we have the right skill set to make a baseball bat that can be accepted in Cuba, Puerto Rico, Japan, or the US?
Actually, the bat is one of the bat and the glove are part of the challenging equipment to get. And starting with the bat, when high-level players use the wooden bat, but we don't have the kind of hardwood that is used to make the bats in the south of Americas. So even getting the wood that is favorable to make a wooden bat here locally is a challenge. That's one of the major challenges. The second, and also there's also the seasoning process of preparing the bat so that it can be useful for a long time. We've tried doing it, and we've gone to the local carpenters, and they have produced an exact replica of the bats that are used in America or Japan. So but then...
the case of no fundis allowed in this shop.
But then they break so easily. And we've used our best hardwoods that we have here. But when we go to the field and upon batting for some few weeks, then it breaks. And the breaking of a bat is also a risky event because
splinters.
You'll be left holding only the base and the other one will fly away. So it's important to get the correct wood.
Which is this wood?
The name is gone, but the best woods, hardwoods that we have, even in Congo and all that, are not good enough for this. So there is a specific type of wood. I need to check that. And
it's found in which country?
Well, I know that we have some South American countries that have them, but also the expertise of now preparing that bat through a process, a seasoning process that will make it, hard and stable upon heavy batting and contacting the ball, because the baseball ball is thrown at a very high speed by the professionals, close to 90 miles per hour. And now you have wood and the ball is so hard. So upon contact, the bat should withstand that for for a long time, so many hits. So we are yet to get to that level. And that's the other challenge. So yes, we have a challenge with the bats, but we've tried to make them. Our carpenters here can produce an exact replica, but it's not good enough in the quality.
So that is the wood.
Yeah.
The aluminum one.
The aluminum one is, of course, it's not available because we don't have industry that are producing those equipment, and that's a major. I know.
We know our sufurias are aluminium.
I know, but our sufuria, it changes shape quite too often, and so the type of
so the workmanship.
The workmanship needs to be good. So ideally, what you're saying is that we need to call on people in the sports industry who are interested, and we are now talking with some Americans, and they are surprised that we don't have an industry in the continent that should be producing this equipment. So we are relying on a lot of importing, and it's expensive, and there are customs duty to pay and all that. So that limits the growth of the sport. However, we are still growing. I don't know whether it's time, but we just held a continental qualifier in December last year, from 5th to 7th. And for the first time, we gave opportunity to countries like South Sudan for their first international event. And they came and they had a good spot. South Africa was here and Uganda was here. And it was a moment of glory for the children who play conventional baseball to showcase their expertise.
Well, let me come back to equipment.
Yeah.
Gloves, made of leather, but you need a certain skill set because of the stitching and because also it looks more of something you can use to scoop the ball with, not necessarily, goalkeeping type.
Yeah.
Has anyone tried to make that equipment?
In Africa, no. Only one person with some collaboration, I think, if I'm not wrong, in Japan, who has tried to make the gloves in Nigeria. And of course, the quality, I can't talk much about the quality, but it's something that we also need to do locally. I've seen now we have some of the gloves, all of the important in the Kenyan high-end malls, but they still may not be good enough. So even when we try to get into it, the quality is something that we need to look at. But we have a good, we produce high-end skins here. So it's something that we should think about so that we give the Kenyan child an opportunity to try this American, Cuban, Japanese sport, which has now gotten roots into the continent. And children love the sport. The only challenge is that the equipment are not enough.
Well, you can see the opportunities are there. I think I've got to agree. When it comes to the wood, that may require importing, but it sounds very weird to import wood, but we import furniture. That's a finished product, but that's a different conversation. Overall, there's some work that's been going on over the past 1 month, and this is about making people understand. How do you go? I mean, you can go pick a football field that's somewhere. You may find a school with 6 football fields, but one can be picked. And all they need to know is how to mark out a diamond.
Yeah.
And one that, fits all the regulations. How is this knowledge being transferred down?
Of course, the fields may have different dimensions according to the ages of the kids, but first is to ensure that the schools understand the concept and where we are going. Because when we introduce this sport to the schools, children love it, and the kids want to keep playing. We need to secure space for them, and the challenge is that when you have a baseball field, you cannot use it for something else. Just like you cannot use a golf course to play soccer. So when it is a baseball field, it should be used to play baseball. You can use a soccer field to play baseball, but once you get a good baseball diamond, you cannot convert it. It must be protected and used solely for baseball. We have the international dimensions baseball field at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology that is being done by, if we build it, .org, an organization of friends from North America that have come in and they have supported immensely the development of a baseball facility in JKUAT through a collaboration with the university. And I can say that they are now finalizing on the second field. They are side by side. And there is also another sister small field adjacent. And this is one of the best facilities that we will now have in the continent. Across Africa. It will be at Jomo Kenyatta University. And very soon we will start seeing the world trooping in to the Jomo Kenyatta University as a favorable space for showcasing international baseball activities. And people now across the world know of the facility, and it is almost not complete, but still work in progress.
Actually, let me just talk about this now, because so that viewers can understand this concept that you've put out. Yeah. You can use a soccer pitch to play baseball, but the moment you set up a baseball diamond, that's it. Just give us that concept of a baseball diamond. Because as much as people are calling it a diamond, think of it, if you think of it from the point of a square, then it would work well. So there's one corner.
Yes, there is. Of course, it's like this. Yeah. So here, this is the home, and then you have the first base, and then there is second base here, and then there is third base and coming back home. But this extends far off, quite some meters from the home, and where you can hit the ball hand with the bat and it will fly away before it gets to the edge. It's quite some distance, and this of course changes depending on the age of the players. But once you've done that and you have some backstop, you have the backstop which is behind the home plate, and you have dugouts on both sides of the diamond, it's not possible then to use that field for anything else. So
actually, dugouts, what he's calling is what in football you would say the substitutes bench.
Yes.
So that people
we call it the dugout. That's where the team stays as they are waiting for their turn to get into the offense or to bat. So it's once you make a standard pitch, a standard diamond, then you cannot come to put other things, other structures. It will not be professional at all.
Because running where the runs have got to be made is permanently dug up. Not grass, it's actually a track.
Yes, it's a sort of, a space that has been scooped, and the running space, maybe you can see that. And those, you can see there is some grass behind the inner field, so that where the grass is, that is the outfield. And the outfield, yes, you can have grass. You can still even have grass in the infield, but the running track that is marked with chalk should be, left like that. And you cannot use this field for anything else. You can only use it for baseball. And you can see there is also the fencing there. So we can modernize this to make it more beautiful, more comfortable, and that is where the organization at JKUAT is really looking forward into doing.
Yes, so that's the baseball pitch that's at JKUAT that is being set up, and so that means the fence is ideally to help for to have what? The home run?
the fence for the home run is the one that you can see on the far end, the green, maybe 1 meter fence there, but we can still raise it in an international setting. But this other side is the bleachers where the team, or rather the fan, sit, but also because the ball is a hand, you have to protect the people who have come to watch, and that's why we have that mesh to protect the viewers. Yeah.
Have you brought in that American concept where if I catch the ball somewhere in the stands, I keep it? Is that one here?
Yes, for the home runs. For the home runs, because you know that one ball is worth too much. It depends on whose hand it is. So when, you know, the way we say that if it's an international, an MLB player, when the ball is on their hands, it's too expensive. So when you get it, once they have hit it and it has gone beyond the fence and it's a home run, it's such a moment of pride for a child to grab it, because they will keep it as a souvenir for the years to come.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. So there you've had it, and now let's actually talk about work being done to improve the technicals, the coaching and the competitiveness of our players, both for baseball 5 and conventional baseball.
Maybe to start with the conventional baseball, last week, 2 weeks ago, we brought in trainers, experts from Canada to come and train the umpires. The umpires are the referees. We call them umpires in baseball, to come train the umpires and the coaches. And they had 2 days of training, again, at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. And by the time they were leaving, we have a solid team that is ready to continue with the extreme thorough coaching techniques, and also umpires that are very prepared to oversee the officiating of the sports in the days to come. And we want to continue supporting this process, because from the federation and in collaboration with If We Build It, and Playing Global, because the trainers were from Playing Global, we hope that we can do this every other year, since getting trained umpires is something. Getting trained coaches is a lot of work. And in Kenya, we don't have coaches who are at advanced stages, who can be, or umpires at advanced stages who can be called to officiate international games. That is for conventional baseball. For baseball 5, we have young, vibrant men and women who have gotten into the space of officiating the sport. And we have used one of our best umpires, like Brian Manyeki, to umpire, to officiate international World Cup events. Actually, it was the home plate umpire during the World Cup in 2022 between Japan and Cuba. And yes,
that's a tough one.
Yes, and and they are doing a great job. We are happy on the side that, or rather the progress that is being made by the young Kenyans who have gotten into the umpiring space, especially for baseball 5. It's impressive, and we are now. Last year we were the team in the world that had accumulated the most points globally in baseball 5. So we were at the top of, in 2025. No other team in the world had accumulated ranking points more than Kenya. And that's also a very proud moment for us, or thing for us. And that's why we also need to advance in all areas. If we have good teams who are playing, we need good coaches, we need good umpires, we need good proper systems.
One other thing is competitiveness. It is always said you can tell the quality of a national team at international level, or basically, there's a time before, African players could go to Europe and wherever they were based at home. And you'd tell how good a country's league is just by looking at the national team. You mentioned that in Mexico, Kenya was the surprise package. Even, finishing 5th is no mean feat out of 16 nations. How then do we keep that level of competition and improve it?
I can promise you, we are looking at Kenya being the country that will represent Africa in the Youth Olympics in Dakar, Senegal, in November this year. And again, we are going for the gold medal in that Olympics. And what is surprising about baseball 5, and the world is surprised on what magic Kenya is using, is that we have kids who have immersed themselves into the sport. Kids from Nairobi, Mombasa, Migori, Nakuru, and many other places, and they spend a lot of time. We have kids who don't go home for holidays. Even last Christmas, they were in camp, and they don't want to go home to celebrate Christmas because they know what it takes. And the national team coach, Joel Wangisho from Masara Primary School, together with the management, they put up a small pitch for baseball 5 at the center of the school compound. And children are coming from that region, skilled, talented. So it's a lot of work. Let me say it's a lot of work that is being put, investment being put by the coaches. And one of the best hitters of last year's World Cup, Samuel Onsongo, a young boy from Kajiado, was the best hitter of the World Cup in Mexico last year. That tells you we have the cream of the players, and that's why Kenya will be the team to beat when we go to the Youth Olympics in Dakar. The world knows, and I hope they are preparing for that.
Well, we already have one team that is knocking on the doors of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. We know athletics comes in straight. Rugby sevens is another team sport, and getting a gold at global level from team sport is something that we really, really would love. So let me bring out something you said. And you said that at grade 11, it's going to be an elective sport.
Yes.
Through the CBE curriculum. So how are you working with KICD, the Ministry of Education, such that, there are those who see sport being taken too academically with so many things, is such that whoever brings it, if you take football, there's a way you would try and test it. You'd have someone, taken through the paces, volleyball, rugby, but baseball 5, how are you making sure that it is understood the correct way? Because I consider every sport to have its own technicalities, unique to each sport.
True. This is, of course, the initial stages is to prepare the PE teachers. After doing the curriculum, because the curriculum was worked on, after the curriculum was worked on, we then, you prepare the syllabus so that now the teachers can get a structured concept. But now you need to train the PE teachers who will be doing the instruction in class. Besides that, some of them may become coaches. So you also need to convert some of them to coaches so that they are able to coach the players within the school setting. Or you can prepare coaches from outside, then they keep visiting the schools. That will help the implementation, because there is the academic angle where the kids are expected to learn the sport, know how to officiate, and know how to develop and understand the field dynamics and all that. But also there is now the aspect of the actual play, developing a team of kids who can play and represent their schools. That will require now a coach to come in and do that. And now what is happening is that we intend to oversee this process. And the World Baseball Softball Confederation are very keen to see that this training takes place. And there are modules, online modules, that are available for PE teachers to go through, and we are preparing a system that will take them through that process.
Because what's coming out the collaboration that you have is the concept that you are taking the arts and sports pathway will make you necessarily a good athlete, a good footballer, but at least, there are some things, if you can't run fast, you can't run. You can.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. So that's what I'm coming to, is that you'll focus more on developing a technical understanding
Yes.
of the sport,
Yes.
rather than now the on-field, so that if this young person goes to the field,
Yeah.
they already have an idea they can either officiate or coach.
Yeah, but you know what, and that's why we need to get it right. For each sport that is we see, there is a lot and too much skills that get into it, because someone worked as a coach, another person came in as a referee or an umpire, there is a team manager, there is someone who is doing research, and all these people need to understand the sport. So there is work for everyone. There is someone who is maintaining the field. They need to understand the sport. So when we prepare our kids to be that broad-minded for each sport, it's for the betterment of our development for each sport. And that is why I like the concept of KICD, that kids those who are taking the sports track, are being exposed to as many sports as possible. Some of them, and it's not a must they play. It's not a must, but they need to understand the concept. They understand the techniques. When they are researching about it, they know. When they are going to study about the anatomy of the body, they know each sport, which parts are affected most and all that. Some of them will become physiotherapists. Others may become sport doctors. Others. So at the end of the day, there is a lot of knowledge that needs to get into the mind of each child for as many sports as possible.
Well, because that's one of the things that is, everyone's been talking about, but at least the clarification is saying this is understand the sports, so that it doesn't become like football.
Yeah.
Where, the story about football is, football has only 17 laws, but everyone interprets them the way they wish. It doesn't have that many. You can imagine there are sports with 65 laws. But you'll find that there are people who understand them. So it's always good that we do that. Looking at major calendar, events calendar, you've mentioned the Youth Olympics as one of the targets for Baseball Kenya. Let's now take a look at the competitive levels or competitions, places where we can see, where anyone who wants to catch the sports can do so at in different places.
Yeah, we hope in the next, we have, there is too much still, because we also have the Little League. Little League is an organization that was initiated in the US that meets for world tournaments at Williamsport every year. And we've not been having a Little League in Kenya for some time. But we have now, for the last 2 years, we've piloted Nairobi Little League concept, where kids from various schools at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, they come and play a minimum of 12 games against each other, and then we do a national tournament. We are launching this year's Little League on 8th of February, again at Jomo Kenyatta University, to give our very young kids an opportunity to learn the sport and grow with it.
That's in 2 weeks.
Yes. And now with that, I hope, and we have been talking to the African Europe region director, because our vision is to see kids get to Poland, because the Africa-Europe competitions are done in Poland every year again. And then from Poland, the team that wins, then go to Williamsport every year. But for Kenya to get to that level, there is still a lot of work to do, because also the regulations of Little League are quite stringent. We need to have so many measures put in place for security of the players. Each team should have a competent coach. Sometimes they even require the children to be insured. So those are very stringent conditions that, when you ask our kids how many have an insurance, sometimes they even don't understand, and the parents also don't understand where you're coming from. So we hope that we've done it in 2025.
though not fulfilling every bit of requirement, but it was a completely successful event, again supported by If We Build It, with the American Charge d'Affaires came to give them trophies, and we had the Deputy Head of Missions from Japan also present, and during the final tournament, and the children enjoyed the day on that 13th of September 2025. We are now we are having another season begin, and we are looking forward to giving the children of Kenya another taste of Little League baseball. From there, of course, we have also the Nairobi baseball community that is starting the tournament very soon, that will run for the better part of half of the year. And we shall continue preparing the teams for a few other leagues. There was some Baseball for Africa event tournament 2 weeks ago, and we are also preparing the national teams for the international tournaments that are ahead of us.
Mention those international tournaments, especially for the let's say the conventional and for the baseball 5.
Yes.
And with baseball 5, definitely youth Olympics that we already have put in one.
Yeah.
The next one
it will be the LA preparation for LA qualification, and we've not yet been guided by the International Federation on the path that will be used. So the qualification process, but very soon I know we will have some regional competitions, tournaments, and also the Continental Championship that will now advance into the Los Angeles 2028, maybe between either late this year or early next year. We shall be getting into that. So what we are doing now is that we are preparing players for that, and we hope in the next a few months we shall have a lot of, we shall start kick off the residential trainings, mostly during the holidays in April, in August, and in December, and we shall keep on until we get the calendar of the qualification process, and then our teams won't be ready for that.
Well, and being an Olympic sport, I know the International Federation hasn't brought it. It's a very American thing. What would be, the kind of things that, just from looking at, I'm just trying to think. Baseball in Japan, crazy. Cuba, very, very good. Puerto Ricans,
very good.
Very good.
Yes.
The Canadians, the Americans, it comes naturally at the Mexicans.
True.
But how then would you, for example, get to prepare some of our players mentally? Because, you mentioned at the start about how fast it is.
Yeah. So what we are doing, it's a process, Wahome, and we have started collaboration with countries like Japan. We have a collaboration that...
All right. Okay, let me interrupt you, Dr. Mutweri. Last word from Dr. Titus Mutweri, President of Baseball Kenya, as we close.
Very well. So thank you, and we have formed collaborations with international, all countries that are doing very well, like Japan. And later this year, we will be sending 5 kids to Japan for the World Baseball Children Fair, so that they can get a taste and a feel of what it is to play and to experience the world #1 baseball environment. And we are doing this at a very young age of 10 years. And we have a collaboration now with the Japan Africa Baseball Softball Foundation that is running. They come here every year to run the Kenya Koshien tournament. And we are hoping this sort of collaboration that we are having with the best baseball countries in the world will help and grow the sport in Kenya.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Titus Mutweri. Japan, JKUAT. I see that connection straight immediately.
Absolutely.
I see that connection. Well, so thank you very much.